Hello, welcome to my stream. Welcome. Streaming a little bit later tonight because I didn't want awkward time after I'm done streaming before it's I don't know, at least late. And I don't want to stream too long because I don't want to push my voice too much. And this game is a lot of reading, so I'll stream for like maybe an hour or so. And this way I kind of am forcing myself to stream only for an hour and not kind of be in a weird time with extra time left on my hands. Um, you know, kind of better timed for me for a short stream like right now. So why does my model keep doing that surprise face? I don't want it. I don't want it. Um, keep recalibrating it to not do that, and it still does. I don't know what it's picking up and registering as that. Anyway, that's fine. Let me pull my stream up so I can actually see my chat when I start playing the game at least. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so let's jump into the game since it is a shorter stream tonight. Might as well make the most of it. Hold on, need a drink. I'm already thirsty. I feel like I've been so thirsty all the time lately. Maybe because it's summer. Yeah. Okay. I'm drinking, the lid won't fall in the bottle. I'm drinking flavored water. It's raspberry flavored water. So fancy. Okay. Continue. First one. Okay. Wow, we're like halfway through the game, maybe? This is another long game. Like, it's almost as long as Pentiment. Like, if it keeps up at this pace. Okay, we read this last time. We're back in Magra. Yeah, Dad's proud of us, blah blah blah. Right, the guy we don't like is here. Oh right, but there's the other guy, Augustin Elborn, who we're friends with. Okay, now let's read the things here, the outcomes. Auden is sentenced. You convict Commander Auden in a court of law. That's good. Would like that. Auden faces the court of honor. We force him to face the noble court of honor for his misdeeds. That'd be nice. Knight of the Serpents. Yikes. The supporters of Archduke Melanidas take over the city. Broken chains, rebellious citizens take control of Anazo. Ooh, wow. True death, we don't want that to happen. Ennobled by the sword, the Brante family becomes a hereditary dynasty of nobles of the sword. Its status passed down from generation to generation. That's interesting. Favored by the Overseer, the Brante family becomes a hereditary dynasty of the sword, earning the favor of Overseer Gaius Tempest and a place at court. Ooh, this is like the better version of this other one. Heir of the family, you succeed your elder brother Stephen as the heir of the Brante family. What do you mean, he died? Oh, this is some, I guess spoilery stuff, but the Brante family is no more. That's sad. A family of means. Brante family becomes known throughout the city for its wealth. Mother finds the strength to recover from a grave illness. Gloria. Robert adopts Gloria and she becomes a full-fledged Brante. What do you mean? He hasn't adopted her yet? She's been living with us this whole time. Wow, okay. Jeez, okay. Branded by dishonor, the Brante name is dragged through the dirt, never to recover. Yikes. Family at peace. You will find a way to unite the Brante family and end all the strife at home. Okay, so we need all of those conditions. Wow, okay. Wait, were there more? Oh my gosh, there's more. Was there more on this other page? No, because it ended in this one ended in true death. Okay. Oh, geez, there's a lot of family outcomes. Financial well-being of the Brante family is decimated. A glorious bloodline. The Brante family earns great renown, becoming the newest eminent dynasty in Anazote. Ooh, that one sounds fun. protector, so my occupation, protector of the people. The people of Annis know and praise you as a defender of the common people's rights. Okay. Patronage of the powerful. You earn the favor of someone very powerful indeed. The Latari ritual. You participate in the enigmatic ritual of a long-dead race. That's creepy, and I said I was anti-cult, but I'm just anti-family cult. There's like blood family, and there's chosen family, and then there's blood cults, and then there's chosen cults, This one seems cool. So maybe. We'll look into it. We'll dabble. Court of Honor banned. You ban the Noble Court of Honor throughout Magra. Evidence against Auden. You now have the evidence you need to bring Dorius Auden to trial. Whoa, this is a detective situation? This is a lot like Pentiment. The occupation screen is available, and then we're gonna continue. Okay. Let's go. Peacetime, there's a lot of chapters in this one. Homecoming. The carriage stops. The familiar gate. The bedroom window, the one you used to climb out of at night from time to time. The well-tended garden with its imported soil, delightful greenery, and Mother's beloved violet irises. The porch you used to jump off of when you were little. You are home. You touch the handle of the front door and halt for a moment. It has been 4 years since you left for Eterna, and it feels like yesterday. The air inside is cool as usual. Father cannot stand a stuffy room and insists on constantly airing out the house. You hear hurried footsteps coming from the direction of Father's study. Before you have time to take off your traveling cloak, you are crushed in Stephen's strong embrace. Your brother has grown taller and more broad-shouldered. When he detaches himself from you, you notice how harsh his features have become. He looks even more like grandfather now. You've grown so much over the last 4 years, sir. Just look at you. You left a low-born boy, but you've come back, Sir Brante. I'm so glad you've joined us in the noble estate. You respond by giving your brother a wrapped gift. Stephen unwraps it carefully. When he sees the sword, a boyish smile appears on his stern face. It's beautiful. What a wonderful gift, brother. Maybe I should start a collection. What do you think? There's no hurry, Stephen. And now let me have a look at the prefecture's new judge. Father approaches you, his hand extended. You shake it and wrap your arms around him. Father looks older. His back is hunched and he squints. There are deep lines around his mouth and silver threads in his dark hair and mustache. Taking a step back, Father examines you from head to toe. What fine posture. You had excellent teachers. I'm so proud you made it, son. Mother comes out of the living room, leaning on Nathan's arm. You immediately see signs of the illness you read about in the letters from home. Her back is bent, her hair is gray, a thin web of wrinkles covers her face, and her complexion has lost its color. She can barely stand unassisted. Nathan leads Mother to you. Slowly, very slowly, she embraces you. You press your face into her shoulder, breathing in the nearly forgotten, dearly beloved smell. Mother holds your shoulders and studies your face for a long time. You've been away so long, son. How you've grown. Just a short while ago, I was cradling you in my arms. You look so much like your father when he was your age, Sir Brante. Nathan approaches you next. Your younger brother is now as tall as you are, and his hair almost reaches his shoulders. Ooh, he looks rough. My goodness. But he still has the same lost look in his eye he had when he was a boy. And here's our ne'er-do-well little brother. He hasn't changed a bit or grown an inch after all this time. He couldn't get into the seminary, so he just hangs around. It's that meme, or not the meme, but the TikTok template, you know? What are you doing? Me? Oh, you're just hanging around, that's what it is. That's what it is. Nathan lets out a heavy sigh and awkwardly puts his arm around you. I'm glad to see you back, sir. Home just isn't the same without you. You hear a snort behind you. Everyone turns. She's looking smart. At the top of the stairs stands Gloria, her arms across her chest. She is dressed as a man, in culottes, a frock coat, and a necktie with a massive pin. The entire family waits for her to greet you. Stephen shakes his head disapprovingly. Your sister descends as if forcing herself to do it. A few steps away from you, Gloria stops and bows. Welcome to your home, Sir Brante. Your sister looks thinner and leaner than she used to. She has dark circles under her eyes, as though she has been sleeping too little or crying too much. Enough pleasantries. Come on in. The table is set. Lydia has prepared a veritable feast for you. For the first time in years, the entire family is together. You can finally spend some time with another member of your family today. We're going to support Gloria. I want to go Gloria first. Ooh, Steven's going to hate us. This one just helps Nathan. And Nathan's also my other option, because he looks like he needs some help. Oh, but if I choose Steven, then Gloria will not like me. Okay, Nathan, I don't know. I feel like I was gonna go Gloria, but now that I'm thinking about it, Nathan, metagaming it, Nathan's the best option for me, I think. But, like, I'm worried about Nathan, you know? But we did spend, when we left, we spent that time with Nathan, so we have to go with Gloria. Because she's mad at us. So, at the table, you try to ask Gloria about her life, but your sister dodges your questions. I live, I suffer, I help around the house, I know my place, just like a low-born girl is supposed to. Then keep silent, Gloria. Your brother doesn't care about the affairs of commoners anymore. Instead, why don't you tell us if you've made any useful acquaintances, sir? Our family would benefit from some good connections right now. You have to relate the 4 years you spent in Eterna. Only later that night, when the family is getting ready for bed, do you manage to have a conversation with your sister by the smoldering fireplace. You assure Gloria that your noble title will not come between you. She is still your sister. Gloria casts a wary glance at you. So, your sword and title haven't changed you after all? Giving in to her feelings at last, Gloria buries her face in your shoulder. You caress your sister's disheveled locks. I really hope you'll always be my brother, sir. Mother, Nathan, and I. We all seem to be unwanted in this house. Sir Robert spends all his time at work, so Stephen has been running the household. It's taken a heavy toll on Mother. I can see her losing her will to live. You know, at her age, she might pass away forever and not be reborn. She had to endure a lot before she met Sir Robert, and her illness is consuming her. All Stephen cares about is getting the family ennobled by the sword. He'd sacrifice anyone for it. I'm worried the first thing he's going to do is drive me out of the house so I won't taint the Brante family name with my origins. I'm just an obstacle to him, a hindrance. You know, sir, I'm not sure how much longer I can tolerate this injustice. Times are changing. If I'm lowborn, that doesn't mean I'm going to serve the nobles until my true death. All over the Empire, commoners are fighting for their rights. Gloria suddenly cuts herself short. For a long time, you sit in silence, listening to the crackling fireplace. The Brante family is about to face some challenging times. Okay, well now Stephen likes us a little less, but like, screw him. And we're back up to having higher affection with Gloria. First day of service. Your service as a judge begins today. You get dressed early in the morning, donning a brand new jacket with a cravat and hat. It's an immaculate look if you dare say so yourself. You head to the prefecture with Father. The prefecture moved recently. It now occupies a massive new building of white sandstone in the very center of Anizote. A stone statue looms above it, the sword of the younger twin, the divine law that directs worldly judgment. All legal disputes in the province are to be resolved here. You and Father walk up the marble stairs past the commoners, merchants, and lesser nobles, all petitioners and litigants, huddled by the pillars. Well now, my son, here ye shall begin your service to the Empire, in the midst of the great struggle I told you about. If you don't mind a little advice, you will serve under Sir Alborn. Follow my example and stay close to your superior. He is a human of great worth and practically your relative. You walk past the courtroom and up to the second floor where judges work in their offices and receive petitioners. The corridors are many and narrow, filled with the smell of old papers and the sounds of muffled, mumbling voices and secretaries and gendarmes running to and fro. Father guides you down a corridor that ends with the door to Sir Alborn's office. Sir, it is time for you to stand before the prefect. Remember the friendship between our families. You knock and enter. The spacious oak-paneled office is not without decoration, yet its adornments are tasteful and elegant rather than garish. The flag of Magra bearing the silver tree hangs on the wall. Behind an imposing desk sits Baron Augustin O'Born, surrounded by papers. His face wears a focused expression you recall from his visits in the past, although it is more wrinkled than you remember. He looks up and his face comes to life. He rises and extends a hand to you. Why, young Sir Brant, it is a pleasure to see you again. Or what a pleasure it is to see you again. I see your ears at the cannot read today. I see your years at the capital have turned you into a stately young man. I was told you proved yourself quite capable at the college. The city of Anizote needs worthy judges who know their craft now more than ever. Allow me to welcome you into the service for the good of the Empire. I'm sure you already know the basics of judicial work. Serving at the prefecture, however, takes more than finding your way through our laws, although they are quite labyrinthine and contradictory. There's no denying that. Anywhere you look in our province, you will see friction between the states. Old noble blood, new nobles, rich commoners, poor commoners, they all have their legal disputes. And we judges work here to make sure this pot never boils over. If we are too eager to follow the traditions of old and bow to noble privilege, the common estate will grow desperate and lose all hope for freedom. But if we openly side with the commoners, the noble's ire will be quick to find us. And so, Judge Brent, I ask you to be wary and wise. Peace hangs by a thread in this province. Carefully consider every decision you make at court before rendering your verdict. But first, you need to get accustomed to your new position. You shall begin at once. The prefecture has already assigned you a number of legal proceedings to review and judge. Your office is ready and waiting for you, Sir Brent. The instructions are over. The work begins. You recognize your new office by the brass plate on the door, reading Sir Brent, Judge. You find it rather cramped on the inside, yet still reasonably comfortable. The sturdy desk has all the stationery you need. Behind the desk is a large chair of carved wood, and in front of it are several smaller chairs for petitioners. Heavy curtains hang over the window, worthy opponents for the morning light trying to shine through. There are papers on the desk already, including instructions, orders, rulings, and all sorts of other prefecture paperwork. You are about to begin when you hear a sudden knock at the door. The source of the disturbance turns out to be a stout, smartly dressed nobleman. He greets you with an elegant bow you would not have expected from such a sizable individual. Is Carlo Graben. Okay. Sir Brent, congratulations on your first day of service. Allow me to introduce myself. Judge Carlo Graben. I, a humble servant of the law like yourself, it is my hope that we will become fast friends. Okay. And now, if I may, a word of warning to help your work progress smoothly as a token of our future friendship. I'm aware that Sir O'Born is your immediate superior. As a loyal servant of the Empire, you will, of course, take his word as your guide. Yet there is no reason to neglect all the other judges of the prefecture, all of whom are noble men with great worth. Their guidance will most certainly aid you as a judge. It will be a pleasure, Sir Brent, to facilitate your introduction to the noble judges of the prefecture as soon as possible. I see glory in your future service to the Empire. Yet it certainly cannot hurt to receive reassurance and support when you might need it most. I shall not detain you any longer, but if you wish to make some valuable connections, my office is right across from your own. Another elegant bow from Judge Graben. Okay, and the door closes. You are alone at your desk once again. The scorching sun is rising over the province behind the window. Today is an important day, the day when you are to take your first steps in your new profession. What will you focus on today? Prepare to do with our first cases, get acquainted with the judges, his father for advice. Let's see. I didn't really like that guy, so I don't really want to make other friends. I don't really want to ask father for advice, because I kind of agree with what it's saying there as career down one. Like, we're on our own now. We're not gonna be like, Dad, what do we do? Like, we can't do that. So they were just gonna prepare for cases, like, get to work, you know? For now, you decide to sequester yourself from the internal power struggles and intrigue of the prefecture. Edicts and orders, rulings and decrees, interpretations of local laws, these are the matters that occupy your mind and you quickly become immersed in them. You spend the entire day studying the legal battlefields on which you are about to fight, analyzing similar cases and verdicts rendered by other judges. You can see a clear pattern when a noble and a commoner clash in the courtroom. The court sides with the noble every time, no matter how affluent the commoner may be. If both parties hail from the common estate, only then may the judges fully depend on the rule of law. A legal dispute between two nobles, on the other hand, is a sticky situation any judge would rather avoid. Resolving such a case properly means striking a careful balance between ancient noble traditions and imperial edicts, all while taking the weight of noble dynasties into account. It gets even worse with matters of noble honor. A prefecture judge has no say there. The court of noble honor resolves such disputes, regardless of what imperial law might say. Before you know it, the sun outside is sinking beneath the horizon, its vermilion rays shining through the gaps in the window shade. The prefect himself pays a visit to your office at the end of the day. You're being quite thorough today, I see. Your attention to your work is praiseworthy, Brent. I am glad to see your father's recommendation can be trusted. Still, you should have save some of that energy for tomorrow. You are walking towards the carriage waiting for you outside. After going through so many cases, you are quite worn out, yet your mind feels light and prepared for the trials to come. Okay, he likes us more. And we have so much willpower now. We began service at the prefecture. A reception at the Brante residence. I need a drink first, though. Okay. You come back home after a short stroll through the city. As soon as you set foot at the house, you are greeted by Stephen, who invites you to have a talk in Father's office. When you enter the room, Father has a heap of letters in front of him and is signing them one after another. Son, Stephen, I must discuss an important matter with you. Son, Stephen and I must discuss an important matter with you. While you were in the capital, our family formally petitioned the overseer to grant us the nobility of the sword. We have 3 generations of noble blood already. We have the right to make our nobility hereditary. Your grandfather took the first steps toward the nobility of the sword as soon as Stephen was born, and now we are on the brink of becoming the Brants. If Overseer Gaius Tempest and the nobles of the province deem us worthy, we will receive a hereditary title. All nobles of the Brant family will remain noble forever, as will their descendants. Father and I do our utmost to maintain the family's position, but our goal can be reached only if our reputation remains unblemished in the eyes of high society. The nobility is watching our every step. Father lays a hand on your shoulder. Now this is your cause too. The future of our family depends on it. We need an estimable reputation and wealth. Everyone bearing the name of Brant affects it. Remember that with every action you take, sir. You will have to appear before Anisote High Society. We're going to host a reception for the nobility at our home. You must uphold the honor of our family, brother. We'll relate the news from Materna, so our guests and present to our guests and present yourself in a favorable light. Or you'll relate the news from Materna to our guests and present yourself in a favorable light. With Stephen at the helm, the entire family spends a full week preparing for the majestic reception. The house is flooded with decorations and new tableware, delicacies are cooking in the kitchen round the clock, and the napkins now bear an embroidered oak branch and chains. The Brant family crest. That's a horrible crest. Gloria is the only one to neglect the common cause. Were it up to me, I wouldn't be seen at this hypocritical gathering, but I don't want to let Sir Robert down. He's the only reason I plan to stay for the event. The evening of the reception has come. Dignified conversations and the clinking of glasses fill the house. Among your guests are many high-born, powerful people. Your father and Stephen dance from guest to guest, making sure no one is overlooked. Young sir, how splendid to see you! So what was your time in the capital like? You exchange pleasantries with a high-placed relative. Meanwhile, Gloria and Mother spend the evening on a settee by the wall without drawing any attention. Neither your father nor your elder brother introduce them to the noble guests. Still, one of the guests, a young nobleman of the sword named Jose L. Pelletier, keeps staring at Gloria in fascination. Your sister averts her eyes, bemused. Lady Gloria, you are the true gem of the evening. You look so marvelously darling. I haven't seen your like even in the capital. When you walk past Gloria, you hear her hurried whisper, Sir, please talk to me. This Sir L. Pelletier, Peloton. He keeps following me. I feel uneasy. What does he want from me? I'm just a lowly commoner. Come with me to the other side of the room, although I'll probably still stand out among all those refined nobles. Look, it's Durante the painter. I wonder what's brought him so far from the capital. It would be fabulous if he could paint our family portrait. We should all be on a canvas together. We're one big happy family after all. Wine glasses in hand, you cast a look around the crowded room. It is time to choose how you will spend the evening. Well, we didn't win the tournament, so we can't talk about that. We can't share the news of the capital? Oh, because we don't have high enough diplomacy. Interesting. Like, presenting our mother and sister feels like I don't know that it's best for them, you know? Plus, that guy, I want to protect her from that guy. She's the one who suggested the family portrait, so perhaps that will distract her. Or will just, like, take her away from Jose's attention, right? Presenting her will only make things worse, I assume. So this one's probably fine. We lose a little wealth, but, you know, I think we have some to spare. And in theory, this is probably the better option, because this is the default, like, if you don't have anything better. But this we do, because we're very eloquent. So we'll do this one. Purchase a family portrait. A reception at the... Oh, that's where... The artist is scrutinizing the portrait of your grandfather on the wall of the sitting room. You will always remember grandfather like this. His heavy, searching look, his hawkish features, his imposing body, and the cane he kept in his hands at all times. As if by pure chance, you pass by Durante and mention that the portrait was painted by a local artist. But surely Sir Durante's skill must be incomparably greater. Would he be interested in painting a group portrait of the entire Brante family? At first, Durante politely declines. He must head back to the capital soon, and he has no time to spare for painting. Isn't that literally his job, though? But you remonstrate that you will pay any price, and his work will be seen by the highest society in Anazote. Durante eventually succumbs to your persuasion. You spend the night negotiating with the painter. A proper portrait will take a fair amount of time to paint, and Durante's prices are high. Convincing your family turns out to be just as challenging. Gloria will not pose in a dress or put her hair in a bun. Nathan almost has to be forced to cut his hair. Stephen insists that he must be drawn to the right of his father, with Gloria behind them. Eventually, you succeed in helping your family reach a consensus. The portrait is perfect. Your parents look dignified, hand in hand. Stephen stands proudly to their right. You, in your best attire, are to the left of them. Gloria brings some life to the painting with her unruly hair and daring outfit. Even Nathan seems to belong there. The portrait is proudly displayed above the fireplace in the sitting room. No one else in Magra has a portrait by Durante himself. This will emphasize our position. For once, Gloria agrees with her elder brother. At least on this canvas we're all one family, whatever our estates may be. Yay. Okay. Reputation is up a little bit. That's good. Wealth. We're down a little bit, but we're still moderate means, so that's good. And then unity. Up one, we're at peace, and we're like, you know, pretty solidly into peace there, so that's good. Manipulation, we're still naive, but we're moving our way out. And eloquence, we're silver tongue now, yay, I wanted that. Okay, next. A rock and a hard place. The Brante home has been uneasy for several months now. With father traveling all over the province for his judicial duties, the animosity between Stephen and Gloria has grown into a full-blown feud. Your elder brother tries to use his position as heir to keep his sister in check and make her behave in accordance with her state. Gloria repudiates his authority. Their fights rock the house on a daily basis. Eventually, after returning from his latest trip, father gathers Stephen, Gloria, Nathan, and you in his office. His somber look portends a difficult conversation. Stephen gazes at his father defiantly. Gloria is poised to lash out and run away. Nathan quietly keeps to the side. Children, for a long time now our family has been striving to become nobles of the sword. Every member of the Brante family will gain a hereditary title. This is your grandfather's dying wish. Gloria sighs loudly. Then why am I here, Sir Brante? Why am I here, Sir Robert? She's right. This is a Brante matter. Wait until I finish, Stephen. I am still the head of this household. If you are truly so concerned about honor, show your father some respect. It can't be helped. Not all of us are noble. But now we must be united as never before. We must work together to protect the reputation and wealth of this family. But you, Stephen, perpetually humiliate Gloria. Father, all I'm trying to do is put her in her place. You know perfectly well the consequences of any attention Gloria might attract. Our every step is being observed. The nobles will make pariahs of our family for all eternity if they remember Gloria's filthy origins, and your reckless marriage to Lydia. Father turns red in the face, but with considerable effort he remains composed. That is so. Our grandfather did everything in his power to remedy your mistakes. Please, Father, don't repeat them. Gloria speaks up. I'm just trying to live, Sir Robert, but Stephen wants to lock me in a cage so nobody will ever lay eyes on me. That's not it at all. You're low-born, but you don't live by your lot. You do whatever takes your fancy. You're constantly grumbling about the order of things. Did you know, Father, that she defies all prohibitions by continuing to write poetry? As far as you're concerned, anyone who contradicts you is an insurgent. When will you grasp the idea that you may not argue with a nobleman? I am the heir of this family, and my word is your law. Purple with rage, Father slams his fist on the table. It is rare to see him so furious. Both your elder brother and sister instantly fall silent. Frightened, Nathan shrinks into a corner. Hold your tongues, both of you. Let Sir speak. He has witnessed your quarrels. He should know best which of you is in the right. Ooh. Yikes. Okay, let's see this one I can't do. Oh, we're not, oh wow, we have to have really high theology, my goodness. Wow, imagine turning to him. Wow, that would lose points with both Gloria and Stephen. Okay, we can send Gloria to Valona. Let's see. Does Gloria want to go away? I mean, I guess... I guess we don't... If we don't lose points with her, it's probably that she doesn't mind it. Just for a while, maybe. And honestly, she might like that. Because she doesn't want to be locked away in the house, right? So, we'll do that one. You take a conciliatory tone. You note that the tempers are running too high. Your siblings would benefit from spending some time apart. They need to cool off, then try to settle their differences. From what you hear, the town of Valona, in the southern part of the province, has an excellent resort with healing springs. What if Gloria took a vacation there for a month to improve her health and have some rest by the sea? Gloria shakes her head hesitantly. Are you trying to get rid of me, sir? So I won't be in your way? What am I supposed to do at some twins' forsaken spa? You patiently explain to Gloria that she'll be able to enjoy some reading, find inspiration in contemplating the waves, and ponder on her future. And then, when she comes back, she and Stephen will calmly discuss their issues. Finally, Gloria gives in. A trip to Valona will be costly. I'd like to know who will pay for it. Speaking first and foremost to your father, you argue that peace in the family is worth any expense. The two of you should indeed spend some time away from each other. Let it be as you suggested, sir. Gloria, start packing. Stephen, please send a note to Valona and hire a carriage for your sister. Gloria reluctantly heads off to the coast. The trip forces the family to spend a hefty sum, but with the constant bickering of your brother and sister, the tensions at home quickly resolve. Without the constant blah blah. With no need to keep an eye on Gloria, Stephen devotes himself to Anna's social life. Gloria returns surprisingly serene. After a month of Valona, her temper has mellowed for a time. She is engrossed in her own affairs and does not draw her brother's ire. Oh no, we're in poverty. Oh well, we're still naive, but we're less naive. The land dispute. It is the morning of a very sultry day, and you are back at the office. You are beginning to get used to the duties of your new profession. Father visits you on the job now and then to see your progress and provide advice, but by now he is confident you can handle the work on your own. Today is your first case, assigned by the prefect himself. From the comfort of your chair, you go through the facts and circumstances of the case. The matter seems simple at first, seeking some desperately needed financial gain. A noble from the less than wealthy El Avila family rented out a sizable portion of his estate to a well-off commoner by the name of Vassal Young. All the rent payments are in order, and there is plenty of time left before the lease is set to expire. But the commoner built a large dye works on the estate, and then El Avila decided... El Avila? I will say El Avila. Neither one sounds very good. Suddenly filed a case with the prefecture to evict him. Filed a case. The rental agreement specifically states that the commoner Young has the right to construct any building on the land. The noble landowner, however, thinks he has the final say on any construction since the land belongs to him. Wait, what? Okay. Wealthy guy... less the wealthy family rents a portion of his estate by a wealthy to a wealthy commoner. Okay, so the commoner built on it. The landlord evicts him. The rental agreement says the commoner has the right to build. The landowner just feels like he should have the right for funsies. He just thinks so for no reason. And then Vassal Young, on the other hand, has refused to vacate the rented land since the term of the agreement has not expired. Both parties are to appear at the prefecture to hear your decision. The litigant, Sir El Avila, enters first. He is an aging noble who dresses far too colorfully for his years. He walks into your office with confidence and sits in front of you. The next man to enter is Vassal Young, a heavy-set man with a thick beard, clothed in an old jacket and clutching a hat. He stands by your desk and bows to you. Sir El Avila does not hesitate to speak first. Your Honor, I demand you drive the commoner Young from my land. His dye works is a noisy, nasty, ugly building, and I refuse to have it on my property. My family already had to endure their warehouses and their filthy workers right by our own estate. This is simply beyond the pale. Either the court says the dye works must be demolished, or I, Gustave El Avila, will do it myself. You ask Sir El Avila to compose himself and tell the commoner to give his statement. Vassal Young gives his account, speaking in a deep, gruff bass. Your Honor, it cost me all the money to build dye works. Contract says it clear. I got the right to build anything on the land during my rental period, and Sir El Avila didn't say a word at first, but now he up and demands we demolish it. My family be ruined. That's not gonna happen, I say. Sir El Avila screams at him in return, outraged by what he calls his cunning trickery. The bearded Vassal Young disagrees again and again, his pudgy finger pointed at the clause in the agreement. It is noon already. The sun is so hot, even the air itself seems to melt away. This is your first case ever. It is time to deliver your verdict. We can't terminate the rental agreement. President would grant noble right to terminate the rental agreement. Oh, no. We can ask him for a bribe. Oh, I don't want to do either of those things anyway. We're gonna protect the rights of the contract is the contract. Like, look. You deliver your verdict. As the rental agreement clearly states, Vassal Young has the right to use the aforementioned... See, like, look, just because you're rich doesn't mean you're exempt from signing things. Like, for instance, if you're super rich and you sign a waiver to go down really, like, to the bottom of the ocean in a janky, like, you know, tin can submarine, and, you die down there, like, if you signed the waiver, you signed the waiver, and that's what happens. If you sign a lease agreement that a commoner can build whatever he wants on the land he's renting, then he can build whatever he wants on the land he's renting. It's like, doesn't matter how rich you are. You signed the contract. You signed it. Come on. Okay. You deliver your verdict. As the rental agreement clearly states, Vassal Young has the right to use the aforementioned lands belonging to the El Avila family until the year 1150 and construct any buildings on the aforementioned lands. Vassal Young's use of the land is not in violation of the agreement, and therefore he must not be evicted, and the dye works will remain. Any attempt to drive him off or demolish the building will constitute a breach of law. How dare you! This is my own land, and I can do whatever I want with it. It is my right. I can rent it out, and I can take it back just the same, and your puny little papers mean nothing to me. If you refuse to resolve this peacefully, Your Honor, why, I'll just put the damn dye works to the torch. You have a response to that. If Young's property should come to harm through El Avila's actions, the nobleman will provide recompense for all damages and pay a fine to the emperor. The law of the empire is the emperor's rule. Nobles and commoners alike must obey the law in equal measure. Your words are tactful but unyielding. The nobleman has no chance. His face pale with rage, Sir Avila spits out a goodbye through clenched teeth and walks away. Thank you so much for your just verdict, Sir Brante. I never even hoped you would protect my rights, after all. Now the dye works is gonna hit it big. Okay, whatever. I hate your voices. The other judges soon learned of your verdict. With your very first case, you have caused quite a stir at the prefecture. Most judges would not have even deigned to hear the commoner's statement. Yet you defied noble privilege and enforced a lawful agreement against a nobleman, an ill omen for the other nobles. Well, too bad. Look, we're richer. You guys should be happy. People are discontent, but I don't know why, because they should be happy. We were at peace. Now we're not. My bad. No. Oh, you know what? That's fine. My career. Oh no. But I'm still a judge, so that's good. That's good. That's good. So it looks like you can't see it because I'm in front of it. But you know, there's career in ruins, dangerous position. I'm in the next one, the 3 to 6, which is judge. 7 to 9 is future prefect, and number 10 is tyranny of the nobles. So this does not seem like a good scale. Like I want to be in this judge range. I feel like perhaps future prefect, but I feel like if our ultimate goal is tyranny of the nobles, we don't want to go too far down. And I might be happy just sitting here in the judge range. Now, currently, we are just judge. Like, we still want to have our career, of course. But we are also, like, towards the low end. I don't want to be in a dangerous position. But we are judges 3 to 6. 1 to 2 is dangerous. So, it's getting a little iffy, but justice went up, though. And that's good. We definitely want, so what's I'm blocking from this one is 3 to 6 is fight for justice, and we're to 5. And then, okay. 7 to 9 are commoners are protected, and 10 is commoners seat of power. I think at least we want to be in commoners are protected, 7 to 9. I have no real desire to go to either, to the full end on either of those. Next year. Year 1139, the Archduke and the Overseer. 2 powerful lords have been struggling for power in Magra I say both. I wish I could stick to one. For over 2 years now. The new Overseer of the province, Gaius Tempus, cannot seem to rein in the obstinate spirit of Archduke Tarquinius Milanidas. Unwilling to accept that he is no longer the Overseer of Magra, the Archduke still stubbornly continues to assert his right to rule the province. Most of the Magran gentry who swore allegiance to him generations ago remain loyal to him even now. Gaius Tempus has publicly demanded that the Archduke recognize the Overseer's rule as legitimate. I am the voice and will of Emperor Uther II to the province of Magra. All lands, deeds, and titles notwithstanding, Archduke Milanidas must obey his sovereign's will and heed his decree. I hereby extend to the Archduke an offer of peace. Should the Archduke cease his insubordination, his lands, deeds, and titles shall remain his own. The Archduke's response to the Overseer was openly defiant. Since the days of yore, the land of Magra has belonged to the Milanidas dynasty. We are part of the empire, and we are the emperor's loyal servants. However, our dynasty will not stand for such intrusion upon our lawful rights and privileges. Never before has an archduke been stripped of his right to represent the emperor's rule in his own province. So do not forget, Sir Overseer, that the highest noble families of Magra have sworn fealty to me alone. Neither the Archduke nor the Overseer will relent, but both are too powerful to be readily disposed of. The bad blood between the 2 Archnians has festered for too long, and the common people have begun to pay the price for their strife. stripped the overseer's tax privileges, the Archduke Melanidas has decided to impose his own levy upon the citizens and villagers of Magra. The commoners are now forced to pay taxes twice, first to the overseer and then to the Archduke. This double burden is too much for the common people of Magra to bear. Many have refused the second tax outright as a lawless measure, but the Imperial Legion led by young Dorius Otten is ruthless. Eagerly and without mercy, the Legion soldiers collect the Archduke's due in cities and villages alike. That's crazy. Look, that wealth we just earned is now gone. And our order is lower. We're the ones that was, yeah. So we already broke peace, but now it got even worse. Oh, I need to take a drink. Drink. My throat. When I started streaming, I was like, you know what, maybe I didn't need to make a shorter stream today. It'll probably be fine. I'm feeling pretty good. I know Tuesday's stream was really long, which is why I was like thinking I probably should do a shorter stream, but I was like, no, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. But no, once you get going, it the like kind of sinks in fast. Okay. A gift for the family. Also, my little pillow thing I'm sitting on is not very comfortable. This last year has been an ordeal for your family. The pains taken to be ennobled by the sword, the close attention to the city aristocracy, the squabbles between Stephen and Gloria. Tonight, your preoccupied father has gathered the entire family around a table in the backyard. The sun has almost set, and there is a soft breeze. But instead of a meal in the open air, you are going to attend a family meeting. In the middle of the table, you see an open gilded box. It is full of jewels. Archduke Melanidas himself has bestowed this gift upon us. It is a surprise indeed. I thought you all had a right to know. Father unfolds a letter lying beside the box. Sir Robert Brante, I bestow this precious box upon you and your family as a symbol of the care with which I treat the people of my province. Pray accept this gift and remember with whom the loyalty of the true nobles of Magra lies. Archduke of Magra, Tarquinius of the Melanidas. The family stares in amazement at the jewels sparkling in the last rays of sunshine. It's worth quite a fortune, but the Archduke is fully aware that I am on the side of Prefect Alborn and Overseer Gaius Tempest. Could he really expect our loyalty to be bought so brazenly? On the other hand, the Archduke is not demanding anything of us, and our family has borne a lot of expenses recently. Father, no one is forcing you to side with Melanidas. Who are we in comparison to the Archduke anyway? We must not anger him by refusing his gift. The jewels are certainly welcome. They are worthy of being shared with the best families of Anisote. They will pave our way to the nobility of the sword. Mother shakes her head glumly. Oh, Robert, I have a feeling this gift bodes ill. It may be an impertinence on my part, but I do not want our family to be indebted to the Archduke. Certainly not. Accepting gifts from Melanidas? He's infamous for oppressing the commoners and robbing villages blind with his taxes. This isn't your decision, Gloria. It's a matter of our family's honor and reputation. Please don't start bickering again. Let Sir say what he thinks we should do with this gift. You are the center of attention now. Your vote will be the deciding factor. Okay. So we can give the jewels to the prominent nobles as gifts. Don't really want to do that. We can decline the gift. Which I'm kind of feel like we should do. Or we can sell them. I feel like we'll decline them. Looking at the family patriarch straight in the eye, you state that such a gift is not to be accepted. The Archduke will see it as an oath of allegiance to him. It would be better to provoke his anger than to fall into his trap. You ask Father to send the box back at once. Well, I suppose you're right, sir. It is far too dangerous. Not only for me, but for the entire family. I'll write to the Archduke. Bring me my quill. It's your decision, Father, but please consider how much we stand to lose. There are no jewels I would not renounce to keep you safe. Mother, Nathan, and Gloria cast grateful looks to you. Even Stephen accepts Father's decision after some grumbling. You spend the rest of the night around the table, resting, conversing pleasantly, and amusing yourselves. For the first time in a long while, there is nothing casting a shadow over your home. The Archduke does not deign to reply to father's letter. No one expected otherwise. Does the Archduke count you among his enemies now, or has he forgotten about your existence? But why waste time guessing when you have a moment of peace to enjoy? There is only one disadvantage. You do not have a single coin tucked away in the family treasury. You don't have a single coin? I know we were in poverty. Okay, so now he doesn't like us. That's fine. Whoa. Our family is so tight. And I am so prepared. And I'm a seasoned warrior. I already was. But now I'm even more seasoned. Wow. A moment of respite. This event is a consequence of your previous actions. Oh no. Conditions met is unity is 10. Oh wow. Okay. Your work for the day is finally done. You hurry to the family home where peace and tranquility dwell again at last. Still, you have grown used to the idea that this peace could be disturbed at any moment. As you enter, Father walks down the stairs to greet you. He smiles happily and warmly. Sir, my dear son, you're spending so much time at work. Look, you can barely stand. You need some rest. Please stay at home with us for a while. Surely you can work. Your work can wait. You've earned yourself a moment of respite. You consider his words for a moment and agree. Overjoyed, Father takes your hand and leads you into the sitting room. You spend several days resting in the family home where your troubles are distant and your family is close. They tell you their news. You carefully share yours. You spend the evenings together on the porch, just like in the good old days, listening to Father's stories of your family's history, sharing laughter over memories of childhood. It is late now. Cicadas buzz quietly in the garden. The windows of the bedrooms glow with a warm light. You recline in a wicker chair with a glass of good wine. There is no place like home. Oh yeah, we're better friends with Stephen, better friends with Robert, better friends with Lydia, better friends with Nathan, best friends with Gloria, and we have full willpower. Wow. We already had full willpower. Now we even have more willpower. I need to use that up on something cool here. You have just completed your first year of service at the prefecture. Several days after your second year begins, there is a knock at the door. You look up from your paperwork and tell the visitor to come in. Sir Elborn's secretary slips inside quietly. The prefect has an important matter to discuss with you in his office. Augustin Elborn looks weary and aged, but he greets you with his usual characteristic warmth. You take a seat in the comfortable chair across from him. Sir Elborn asks the secretary to pour you and... Sir Elborn asks the secretary to pour you and him some wine. Sir Brante, good to see you. I hope the judge's trade is coming easily to you now. I must admit I've been watching your first cases closely. You have already had to resolve a rather difficult land dispute between a commoner and a noble. We will see even more litigation of this kind in our province in the future. Now it's time for you to answer an important question. In this great dispute between the two estates, where will you stand as a judge? Take a look around you. Life in the Empire as we know it is changing. It is our duty as nobles and judges to make peace between all the estates on the basis of the law. However, the prefecture faces a great hindrance in its pursuit of this goal. Many nobles are still determined to abide only by the traditions of old, especially the Arcanians. For those nobles, the only law above them is the Court of Honor, where noble ranks and duels decide everything. They reject the jurisdiction of the prefecture and outright defy the newer laws and regulations of the Empire. This is to say nothing of what happens when an Arcanian has a dispute with a human commoner. Some Arcanians would rather cut a human down there and then than waste time on what they see as pointless litigation, even though the law says that all the Emperor's subjects have the right to a fair and just trial. One of the most flagrant violators of the law is Dorius Autumn, the commander of your province's military. You've encountered him before, haven't you? That Arcanian nobleman is a notorious duelist. Anyone who crosses his path risks insulting his honor. His sword has ended the lives of many human nobles, not to mention all the commoners who have been unlucky enough to run afoul of him when he was bored. Surely you realize, Brant, that we are the only ones who can protect those people. The low-born lot forbids a commoner to arm himself, and even those who would rather defy their lot have no chance against Doris Otten, one of the most skilled Arknian swordmasters. Otten cannot be allowed to commit murder with impunity. We have to stop him, and all the others who act just as he does. Imperial law must prevail over their barbarous traditions. But as of now, I have no authority to put Otten on trial. Our province still abides by the old traditions, and humans are powerless against the dynastic power of the Arknian aristocracy. Putting an Arknian on trial for his crimes would be unthinkable at best. We have to work gradually to change this, Brant. I need you as an ally. What we have to do is strengthen the power of imperial law in Magra, so that eventually anyone who will respect the law, from humble beggars to high-born Arknians, we must show everyone that the law is not a noble instrument of oppression against the common folk. Like the divine law, imperial law must stand above all, with no regard for birth, rank, or title. This is why I have decided to address you today, Sir Brant. Side with the law, side with your father and myself. Stand with justice in every case always, no matter who stands trial before you, be they lowly commoner or noble elite. With enough precedents, we will put an end to highborn tyranny and ensure that the law is respected throughout the province. But I must warn you, even here at the prefecture I am not all-powerful. Many judges oppose my point of view, not openly, at least not yet, but I am certain they will work against us in the shadows. Now, Brant, what is your answer? Are you ready to side with me and change our province for the better, or are you prepared to support me against the high-handed gentry and defend the common folk from the likes of Doris Otten? Oh, absolutely. We're siding. What would this do? Get us more willpower, which we don't even need. Why the hell would we do that? Yeah, we are gonna make a promise with him, and we're gonna get more friendship with him. Sounds good to me. Win-win. Surprised I didn't have to meet certain conditions for that. You nod energetically, determined to support Elborn and bring nobles and Arknians under the rule of imperial law. You realize the risks, but for the future of the Empire and its subjects, you are willing to face them. You seal the promise with a handshake. The prefect leans back in his big chair, and points at the glasses full of wine. I never doubted you, Brant. With your potential and youthful zeal, nothing will stop us. And now a toast to the triumph of law in Magra. Your glasses clink melodically. The prefect takes a sip and then puts the glass down to instruct you further. Remember to be cautious. Between the powerful nobles and many other judges at the prefecture, there will be no shortage of enemies on this path. There will be times when I will be unable to help you. My own position is too unstable as it is. So please do not draw too much of their ire. Letting their wrath reach you is the last thing I want. Last but not least, we mustn't be hasty. If we move too fast and enforce the law against the nobles too soon, they might take up their swords as they have before. We have to prevent an uprising and avert bloodshed. At all times, be just, but also wise and alert. I'm glad to see you on the side of justice. I'm counting on you, and you can count on me in return, Sir Brant. May luck be with you in service to the Empire. You return to your office, your desk covered in endless paperwork, as always. At first glance, nothing has changed, but now you realize the great and important cause working quietly behind your daily grind. Deep in thought, you sit at the desk once again. What fate awaits you in service to this cause? Relations +2, and we have the promise now. That's good. Promise to Elborn. You gave Elborn a promise to support him in his fight against the tyranny of the nobility. Okay. Night is falling over Anazote, or an old friend. Night is falling over Anazote. The stifling heat gives way to an eagerly anticipated freshness. After a day at work, you stroll home at a leisurely pace. You turn down a side street that you have known since you were a little boy. It is as if your legs are acting of their own accord, bringing you to the place of your childhood play, the remnants of the wooden fort. So much has changed since the days when you used to play here with your little friends. Engrossed in your memories, at first you fail to notice that you are not alone here. A tall figure in the uniform of a Legion officer approaches you. You see unruly brown hair and a twinkle in his eyes. It is Thomas. Okay. Why didn't we lead with that? The fact that Thomas and we know him. Whoa, no, what was his voice? I thought I knew it. Now that's a surprise. Hi, Brant. Fancy running into you on the street. I'm back in town. Your childhood friend puts his arms around you. Our battalion got transferred here recently. We're under the command of the Magra Legion now. I'm keeping the peace and maintaining order in my very own province. Well, why don't we catch up? Let me buy you dinner. We'll have a little chat, remember the old days. Thomas cuts himself short. All right, we're friend married. Are you wearing your ring, Thomas? We have rings. We have pinky rings. Because we're friend married. You suddenly notice how much older he looks. His face has become sharper and rougher, and his eyes are filled with exhaustion rather than their usual mischievous sparkle. I should warn you, though, sir, I ain't the best company nowadays. I've managed to get myself some powerful enemies lately. I'm a friend who could taint your good name. So if you'd rather not be seen with me, well, I understand. The smile on his face starts to fade. Oh, we can't walk away, right? Because we have well, two reasons. Because we're on the path of the nobleman, so we can't. And we also are not just... So we need to not be bound by friendship, but we are. Well, duh, that's... Okay. Absolutely. What's already 5? We don't want +1. We don't need more willpower. Oh my gosh, this does nothing to help us, except hurt our reputation. But you know what? We're friend married to Thomas, so we have to. You give Thomas your hand. You shake hands firmly. So you haven't forgotten your old friend, Brant. That's the way it ought to be. Well, come on then. You go to the tavern, reminiscing about your childhood antics on these very streets along the way. You choose a table in the far corner of the tavern. Thomas orders a bottle of good wine and some food. You talk about your latest case, about your first years back in Anisote. You share family news, your quest to become nobles of the sword, the quarrels between your elder brother and sister, your mother's health. Thomas nods with concern. Sounds like you've had some tough times. Your family has always been different. Mine, on the other hand, is the same as it ever was. My pa's always in his workshop, and my ma's always doing chores. But look at me. I came home a service-class nobleman, although it doesn't bring me much joy anymore. Thomas is suddenly grim. You ask your old friend to share his troubles with you. He quickly glances around the room and lowers his voice. Well, I'm a captain in the Magran Legion now. And who's our commander? His Excellency Dorius Auden. That's right. I serve under the very same Archnean whose toes I stepped on back in Eterna. And you better believe he remembers me. I'm afraid things are gonna end real bad. But hey, I'll figure it out somehow. Don't trouble yourself over it. Apart from that, well, it's the usual service. We impose order in uppity towns and villages, protect the province, that sort of thing. And we run drills all day long, obviously. If only you knew how sick I am of them barracks, sir. I've thought about starting a family. My ma keeps telling me to find a nice girl to marry. She says it's high time I got hitched. It is completely dark, and you are still talking. Finally, Thomas remembers that his parents are waiting for him. You get up from the table, leaving some dirty dishes and quite a few empty bottles behind. On your way out, you catch a glimpse of a nondescript figure following you to the door. As you walk alongside Thomas through your home neighborhood, you keep glancing over your shoulder, but the shadow that was following you has disappeared. You reach your street and stop for a while in the semi-darkness, between your family homes, just as you used to all those years ago. Bye, Brant. I hardly ever come to Anisote these days. Our battalion is always on the march all over the province. But twins willing, we'll see each other again real soon. Hey, Thomas, remember back when we got friend married and you said, oh, well, we might never see each other again. Remember that, Thomas? Remember? We've seen each other, like, all the time, like, at least once a year since then. Which, I mean, granted, we still don't see each other all that often. But never again was really dramatic. You advise your friend to safeguard his every life. Alright, because they have multiple lives. Okay. We're already max friendship. Oh, our honor is now tarnished what it already was. And now we're even more tarnished. Oh my gosh, our reputation is so bad. Or have full willpower. We already did. Like, we already had full willpower, and then we got 5 more, and then now we got more. We have so much willpower. Nowhere to spend it. A newspaper case. Your first year at the prefecture has come to an end. You are not a young student anymore. You know now that a judge's trade means so much more than knowing the law and carrying it out. Resolving a litigation of any importance requires striking a balance between the code of law, high society's opinion, and the whims of the provincial powers that be. Your second year is beginning, and it feels much tougher already. Trampled by the nobles, the commoners seek help, and so they turn to the law. They turn to you. A carriage takes you through the Silver District of Anizote. It is early morning, and you have just received a letter bearing the seal of the City Hall. Remy L. Vermin. Vermon, maybe, to sound a little bit more like a rat. No, what? His first name's Remy. You know what? We're gonna say Remy L. Vermin, and that's what it is. The Magistrate of Magra himself wishes to see you at once. The mere sight of the magistrate's invitation is enough to make you scowl. This is no doubt about your newest case regarding the Quorum Gazette, which may spell trouble for everyone involved. A provincial legislature, the Lesser Quorum, governs the volume and distribution of taxes in Magra. After a new law created by the Emperor's own brother Cornelius Tempest several years ago, commoners of considerable wealth were granted representation in the Quorum on par with the nobility, thus forming the Lesser Quorum. Ah, so the House of Commons. Got it. Now the representatives of the lowly estate have founded a newspaper of their own, and this Quorum Gazette, distributed all across Anizote, fervently argues for commoners' rights in provincial governance. The man behind the newspaper is Mayor Egmont, a well-off industrialist and owner of several silver mines. It was his article and his demands that brought about this litigation. You take out a newspaper and read Egmont's article printed within. It addresses Imperial Overseer Gaius Tempest directly. We demand that Sir Overseer Gaius Tempest cease his habitual disregard for our meetings. From our Emperor Uther II we received the lawful right to assemble and sit in the Lesser Quorum, and we say to the Overseer, our voice must be heard, our message must be accepted. The carriage stops in a square by a luxurious building. This is the City Hall, where Imperial officials manage all domestic and economic matters in Anizote. You are escorted up a long, winding staircase to the door of the magistrate's office. You now stand before Remy L. Vermin. The magistrate maintains a haughty bearing in spite of his venerable age. His face bears the sharp, proud features so common among the old aristocracy. Ah, yes, Sir Judge. You are from the Brante family, I believe. I appreciate your prompt arrival. I'd rather not waste your time and get right down to business. The matter for which I called you here is urgent indeed. You are judging a case against that newspaper by the Lesser Quorum, are you not? I've had a torrent of complaints against it from the most venerable members of the Quorum. They say Mayor Egmont has insulted Gaius Tempest, our overseer and an Archnean from the Emperor's own great dynasty, and I say they're absolutely right. The Empire gave those uppity commoners a hand in managing the province's very well-being, which is already a violation of their lowly lot, but no, that wasn't enough for them, it seems. You've earned the mantle only recently, Sir Brante, but you must realize that this is an affront to the honor of the entire nobility. I expect you to do your duty as a judge and immediately find a pretext for shutting down their pathetic gazette. Elborn, your prefect, might think otherwise. However, Sir Brante, if you exercise enough wisdom and cunning, I am certain you will realize which position is most beneficial to you. With your youth and potential, it'll do you good to have powerful friends on your side. I'm sure you will reach the only appropriate and just verdict when closing this case, and I hope you will be duly judicious. For now, farewell. You return to the prefecture, lost in thought. Sir L. Vermin is right. Your word is all it will take to shut the Lesser Quorum newspaper down. As a judge and a nobleman, you do not even need a reason. The people running the Gazette are mere commoners, no matter how wealthy they might be. There was no breach of law, however. Mayor Egmont's article simply requested that the Overseer Magra hear what the Lesser Quorum has to say. You can reject the nobility's complaints and thus show the commoners they may rely on the prefecture's justice. But Sir L. Vermin and many fellow judges will be outraged. Father learns that the case has been assigned to you. He visits you and offers some advice. You're in quite a predicament now, son. If you try to appease one party, the other will be furious. Wouldn't you rather see if there's any way to make peace between them? We could host a party at our estate and invite both Mayor Egmont and the noble elders of the Quorum. If you are successful at diffusing their quarrel, no one would object if you decide to legitimize the Quorum Gazette. Even El Vermin won't be against it if the nobles stop complaining. However, Father is not your only visitor of note that day. Shortly after the door closes behind him, the familiar face of Judge Carlo Falkegraben, I hate that guy, appears in your office. He looks around cautiously before speaking his mind. I forget what his voice was, so I hear you've been ordered to deal with that newspaper run by wealthy commoners. It's a complicated case indeed. If you ask me, work like that deserves to be rewarded. Why not make the most of it? You're quite close with Prefect Elborn, are you not? Almost related, as it were? What if you were to shut down the paper and seize their printing press? All it would take is Sir Prefect's signature. And my friends among the quorum nobles, why, they could use a gazette of their own. I would be delighted to help you put that printing press in good hands. Just think of it. You would shut down a subversive periodical and help our esteemed nobles spread their message, all while earning a lucrative reward for your efforts. It's quite a coup, really. Everyone wins. Do think on it, Brante. He leaves, and you are left alone in your office to deliberate. If you decide to shut down the Gazette, how far should you go? And if you choose to legitimize a periodical, how will you go about it? Okay. Oh. No. Okay, this one seemed like the good option, but we do not have high enough diplomacy. So that's unfortunate. We can seize the printing press. Absolutely not. We can shut it down, which we don't want to do. We're just going to do this one. Our career is going to be in a dangerous position. But we got to do this. We got to do it. We cannot seize it for the nobles. Metagaming, that is the best option, but we cannot do it. I'm really sad that we don't have higher diplomacy. They keep screwing us over in like multiple situations, but that's fine. You peer over the papers as you write your verdict. The Lesser Quorum's newspaper has not violated any imperial law. You therefore have no choice but to reject the nobles' complaints as unfounded. The newspaper's owner, Mayor Egmont, soon hears of your verdict and comes to the prefecture in person. He looks almost like a nobleman. Egmont is well-groomed and wears expensive clothing only a wealthy industrialist could afford. Nevertheless, his rough manner of speaking and boorish posture betray his humble origins. He bows to you ceremoniously. Your Honor. What was his voice again? I literally just did it. Your Honor, you have my gratitude for your righteous judgment. I don't know if the nobles are going to stop complaining after this, but now we know the prefecture is ready to protect the common estate. You warn Egmont against any further careless statements in the paper. The next judge may not rule in their favor. But, Your Honor, we write what we think, and follow imperial law to the letter. You receive a note from Magistrate Remiel Vermin the day after. Brante, your verdict is an outrage and an affront to the nobility of Magra. This continued waste of paper on low-born libel is simply unacceptable. I am very disappointed. Wasting your potential protecting thankless rabble-rousers is no way to advance your career. The Gazette remains in publication until the prefecture orders another judge to investigate it after being inundated with complaints from the nobles. The new judge wastes no time in banning the newspaper and fining Egmont for insolence against the nobility. You could have done this to begin with, but you did not. Anazode High Society does not forget this. Yeah, well, we're not gonna do the wrong thing. So. Doop, doop, doop. Shoots and ladders, a consequence. Oh my goodness. Oh no, because we have low career. Oh no, what is gonna happen? I'm gonna take a drink. This is not good. News of your latest actions spread rapidly across Anazode. You have made many enemies during your years as a judge, and now is their chance to strike. Your career is hanging by a thread. You have to fight off accusations, denouncements, and slander just to retain your position. A quiet knock at the door interrupts your musing. The imposing figure of Judge Carlo Falkegraben solemnly floats into your office. He's quite large. Is he really floating? It seems very heavy. Okay, what was his accent again? We hardly ever see each other these days, Brante. I have decided to pay you a visit, with the most cordial of intentions, of course. I've been hearing everywhere that things are not going well for you, so I asked myself the question, how could a man of your talents quarrel with almost all the Anazode High Society? I'm sure you are simply misguided. But worry not, I will show you the way. Many judges see you as a threat. They think that your daring rulings are putting the entire prefecture in danger. Let's examine your latest case, for instance. Its outcome enraged all the nobility of the city. But I know you aren't what they say you are. The others need to see how much you care for your colleagues and our institution. Take my advice, sir. Don't forget that it is a judge's job to maintain law and order among the estates, not destroy it. Admit your error and reconsider at least some of your past decisions in favor of the nobility. Do this, and I assure you, society will come to see you as a respectable nobleman and a wise judge once again. Do not emulate our prefect. You know that I hold Elborn in the highest esteem, but between you and me, he's on the edge of a precipice, and he's dragging you down with him. Promise me that you'll think about what you've said, Brant. I am only concerned about your well-being. I care about the career of a promising judge like you. Falkengraben takes a bow and leaves as silently as he came. You reread your latest cases, lost in thought. This is what has turned high society against you. Your enemy's schemes are preventing you from continuing your work. You need to find a way out of this situation. We cannot ask a powerful benefactor to protect us. Because we don't have one. Continue the fight. Yikes. Annul our decisions. Sounds bad. We can ask our father for help. It hurts our family reputation. But I think I'm gonna have to do that. Now that we're in trouble, yeah, we gotta ask Dad. Didn't want to do it on our first case, but now we gotta. You walk swiftly to your father's office. No matter what happens, he will always come to your aid. The conversation begins awkwardly. You tell him about your latest rulings, the enemies you have made, and the pressure from Falkengraben and those like him. Will he help you out of your difficulty? See, here's the thing, is I feel like I would stick behind my decisions, but, like, I'm hoping this will give me, like, a middle ground option, like, maybe I can, like, change the terms on one of them. Like, I'm willing for, like, the guy who built the dye works on the land, like, saying, like, well, let's amend the contract. So when it gets renewed, let's say that instead, you have to get permission before you can build things, on the land. Because certainly he doesn't want you to not build anything, but the dye works are very smelly and noisy and gross, so, like, he might say no to that. Perhaps you should find a different business to run. You know, that type of thing. So I'd be fine, like, revisiting the terms of other agreements. And, like, I guess I can annul maybe, like, one of them or something. Like, possibly that one, or the newspaper, like, it would be harsh, but kind of like, Elborn said, you know, we can't go, our fight for the commoners can't be too fast, because the nobles will lash out if we, like, tear down their power too quickly. So we have to go slow, and I have not been going slow. I haven't sided at all with the nobles. So, okay. So will he help us? Let's see what happens. You, having carefully listened to your account, Father frowns. You are in dire straits indeed. You know that I will always be on your side, but now you've gone too far. It's my fault too, sir. It's time we got you out of this mess. Our family has managed to build a reputation over the past few years. I'll arrange meetings with some important noblemen and plead your case. Like predatory beasts, they will smell our vulnerability. As soon as you ask for a favor, you become not only a debtor, but also a prospective victim. But we have no choice. Otherwise, you will lose your position as judge. But promise me, son, that from now on you will be more cautious and refrain from making more enemies for our family. You assure father that you will do your utmost. Then you awkwardly thank him for his help. He pats you on the shoulder in response and picks up his quill pen. Letters, entreaties, and humiliating visits await him. Yikes, our reputation is so bad. Okay, we still have plenty of willpower. At least we got our diplomacy up. The lack of diplomacy is really hurting us, so at least we're getting there. Ding dong. Today is a big day for the Brant family. The day your family line started. The day when you remember all your ancestors. Tonight, everyone who bears the name Brand must descend into the family crypt to keep vigil by the tombs. This is the time to surrender yourself to your ancestors and hear their will. Oh god, I don't want to talk to Gregor. The entire family prepares for the evening in silence. Stephen has been choosing his apparel since morning, praying anxiously under his breath all the while. The heir has a special place in the family vigil. Even Mother's planning to go with you, though Father tries to talk her out of it. Lydia, I beg of you, stay home. You are far too weak for an all-night vigil in the crypt. Gloria, would you be so kind as to stay with your mother, since you cannot join us anyway? Gloria answered us in a muffled voice. As you wish, Sir Robert. The late Sir Gregor would only be enraged to see Mother there. We all remember how their last encounter ended. Father nods curtly, avoiding Gloria's gaze, but at that moment your attention is drawn to a noise in the foyer. Nathan staggers to the door, stumbling over his own feet. He reeks of cheap wine and filth. Nathan has a rough time. I'm not, late, am I? Everyone gazes at him in consternation. Nathan almost falls into Mother's and Gloria's arms. Distressed, they fuss over him. Stephen eyes his youngest brother coldly. I expected nothing more of you, Nathan. Why even speak of duty to your family when you can't even manage to live by the commoner's lot? Go lie down in the pantry and stay out of our sight. Father, sir, it's time. Let's go. Alongside Father and Stephen, you descend into the family crypt. You cannot help but remember paying your last respects to your grandfather 9 years ago. You light the lamps. Dim, eerie flames illuminate the shrine. In the middle of it stands a magnificent stone tomb containing the long-decayed remains of Gregor Brante. You take your places around the crypt and kneel. The all-night vigil has begun. At first your ancestors remain silent. Each of you is left with their own thoughts. Then a low murmur passes around you. The shadows in the corners of the room deepen. The voices grow stronger. You know that the ancestors of Gregor Brante, long-forgotten commoners whom you never knew, are trying to talk to you. But now a memory of them has come to life in the darkness of the crypt. They are pleading for something, demanding it of you, calling out to you, screaming. Finally, you all hear that painfully familiar, deep, imperious voice echo from the far end of the chamber. It's been a long time since I've seen you all. I hope you bear good tidings. All this time I've been waiting for you to fulfill my mission. Remember, as long as I am in your blood, I will give you no peace. Bro, what does true death even mean in this world? Shut up. I can't hear you. You're dead. You're true dead. I did not have my family ennobled just to see our line cut short. Our blood tide must join the grand flow of the empire, and then each of my descendants will inherit nobility for ever and ever. Okay, bro, chill. But I do not see any of you before my tomb. Where are you hiding? Where's the line of where's the head of my family, the man who will speak to me? Where's the man who will heed my will? Father rises from his knees and makes his way toward grandfather's stone tomb, the source of that booming voice. But Stephen suddenly pushes him out of the way. Father takes an indignant step forward, but Stephen firmly bars the way. Stop it, Stephen. You are my heir, but you are not the head of this family. Father, it is not you that Sir Gregor is addressing. Earning the nobility of the sword is my duty to him. He has long forsaken any hope of seeing you achieve it. You must understand that I am the one who will fulfill that duty. Stephen does not let him pass. Father breathes heavily in anger. You can all but feel the frantic beating of both their hearts resonating somewhere within you. Both your father and brother seem to have forgotten that you were here too. Even the restless voices of your ancestors have grown hushed, waiting for the outcome of this confrontation. Ooh, imagine if I step forward myself. My god. Oh, and I would earn me some points with Gregor. Ooh, why would we do that? Are we gonna support Stephen? Or are we gonna support Father? I feel like I want to support Stephen. He's the one. Father is the head of the family, but clearly Stephen is the one that Gregor wants to talk to. And also, metagaming, this doesn't give me anything really good, but this is way better, so. Let's do this one. But also, it will just get in a fight if Gregor talks to Robert, you know? But if he's talking with Stephen, things will be a little bit better, I think. You walk up to Father and gently put a hand on his shoulder. Let Stephen talk to Grandfather. This is what our ancestor wishes. There is no reason to oppose him. Father lowers his head and steps to the side. Stephen approaches your grandfather's tomb, his fists clenched tight. Stephen, I have always known that if anyone will lead the Brante family to glory, it will be my grandson. Sir Gregor, we are closer to becoming nobles of the sword than ever before. The Overseer looks upon us with favor. Give us but a couple more years, and your dream will come true. My dream, Stephen, it is the great cause of anyone who bears the name of Brante. Earning us a place in eternity is your duty to your blood, just as it is my duty to look out for you even beyond the grave. Your grandfather's follies have become a veritable threat, and I must help you overcome it. You still cater to those foundlings, Lydia and Gloria, risking a permanent blemish upon the Brante family. My name. You are but a step away from leading our family to shame and ruin. Stephen, you are the heir of this family. Do not take after your spineless father. Do what must be done. Cleanse our family of wickedness. Stephen is suddenly shivering. You've never seen your elder brother like this before. He replies to his ancestor in an unsteady voice. But, Gloria, I can't. Do you dare hesitate? Dead though I may be, my will lives on, and you are the embodiment of this will in the realm of the living. Stephen checks himself. Stephen's his own person. I will do my duty to my family, Sir Gregor. Whatever the price, I will pay it. Gregor, what about your ancestors? Huh? What about your ancestors? Why is everything all you? You don't say like, oh, well, I want to do this for our ancestors, for our family name, for the line of people who came before us. You don't care. You just care about yourself. And it's really annoying, and I hope all the ghosts in here riot against you. I hope after we leave, they beat you up, because that's what you deserve, because you're so annoying. Okay. The crypt is completely silent once more. You are alone again. You see tears glistening in Stephen's face. He suddenly clasps you in his arms. I hope you really do understand me, sir. This is the burden I must bear. But I don't wish any harm to come to anyone who lives under our roof. I will find a solution that is best for all of us. While your brother holds you in his firm embrace, you hear a sorrowful sigh from father. You watch as his lone, hunched figure walks up the stairs. The vigil is over. Seems like the best option. Okay, you know what? We were a perfect 10, now we're a 9. That's fine. That's fine. Little dissension is probably normal. We don't want to be too, like, you know, weird. Diplomacy is higher too. We need to get that up. we need a lot more diplomacy. Oh my gosh. It's all of the stream so far was 2 years out of like, what, 10, 9, however many it is. Jeez. Okay. We'll read through this and then we'll pause it here in the stream, but year 1140, Egmont's speech. Just a few days into the year, Mayor Egmont, chairman of the Lesser Quorum and owner of several silver mines, made a speech that caused quite a stir in the province. Though a commoner, Egmont had the gall to demand that the Magran authorities both enforce and obey imperial law. What's the use of imperial laws if they aren't forced as they should be? Even today, an Ianazort nobleman who gets up on the wrong side of the bed can draw his sword and run a commoner through with impunity. These gentlemen may be our rulers, but does that mean they can defy the Emperor's will? Sir Elborn has been appointed to enforce the rule of law in Magra. How come the prefect doesn't see this? We commoners aren't trying to seize the noble lot and take over the province, but the rule of tradition is a thing of the past. This is the age of justice. We may not all be equal in its eyes, but even the nobles and clergy must obey the law. The Magran aristocracy is furious with Egmont and demands that he be silenced, but the rich industrialist has too much money and too many connections to be dealt with so easily. You hear more and more rumors about secret societies of commoners appearing in the city, plotting against noble rule. The gentry fears that Egmont and his peers might be behind this, but they have no proof, at least for now. Father Leonard, abbot of the Temple of the Silver Tree and leader of the New Believers, supports Egmont and has spoken publicly in his favor. The twins themselves entrusted the noble estate with the right to rule over the common folk. But rulers must also care for their subjects. The old faith is mistaken. No commoner should ever be forced to suffer. It is for this very reason that the imperial law exists. It is there to ease the people suffering. May those laws be duly enforced, and may they serve all the people of the empire. Oh my gosh, I just caught a whiff of like a dentist's office. Why does it smell like a dentist's office? What does this smell? It's like stuck in my nose. I don't know where it came from, and I don't enjoy it. Okay. Ooh, power's right in the middle. We love it. Struggle for power. So that seems like a bad thing. The way I see it is it's 50-50. Everyone's equal, and that's nice. Order, we're at discontent. We're almost to unrest. That's scary. Wealth of Magra is even worse. You know, we contributed to that once. With a decision everyone got mad at. Okay, so we're gonna pause here for tonight. um, because that's all my voice can take. And also, so like I said, I sit on the floor in my apartment when I stream, and I had like a pillow I was using, but it was like I just used it way too much, like, hours and hours and hours, dozens, hundreds of hours probably, sitting on the pillow, and so then it kind of like, I don't know, wasn't very good. And so then I was like, all right, time to get, because it's not like meant for sitting on, so it's like a decorative throw pillow thing. And so then I got like an actual like floor cushion that I was like, oh, this is for sitting on floors, like hopefully it'll be comfy. It's not. It's not really very comfy at all. So like my legs just go numb so fast. It's very, very uncomfortable. Um, but yeah. So anyway, and I've already been sitting on it a lot today, so I'm like extra uncomfortable. And then my voice. Some of these Gregor, I was really, really disappointed to see Gregor come back. One, because like don't really like him anyway, and also because his voice is not good for my throat. So, uh, that was not enjoyable. Um, but yeah, so the girl voices are way better. Like all the guys, like I try to do a deeper voice, but my voice doesn't go much deeper than my normal speaking voice. I can go higher, like I can talk really high. I can talk really, really, really high if I want, but like lower is so hard. So like maybe I should just have my standard, maybe I should just have my normal speaking voice be like a guy voice and not try to go lower at all. And then just have all the girls be like really high. Just like I need to make all the voices higher pitched, Maybe. Maybe that's what I should do. We'll see. Okay, anyway, um, so that is it. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching, keeping me company, and all that. I'll be back on Saturday is the next day that I'm streaming. And it probably will be at the proper time, I think, around like 7, 8 o'clock or so, PST. Um, oh, it's 11:11. Make a wish. It's 11:11 here anyway. Um, but yeah, so I will be back on Saturday. I'm going to be streaming Paranormacite on Saturday. And I don't have a feeling I won't finish it on Saturday, but we'll maybe get make a good dent in it is the goal. Um and it's also a lot of reading unfortunately, but at least I have a feeling it's a little less reading than this is because there's like I don't know, it feels less reading intense. I don't know if it'll actually be better for my throat, but it's fine. I know that powering through a reading game like this is a bad idea without peppering some like kind of gameplay. Like I used to really rely on whatchamacallit, um Phasmophobia, since it's not a real big talking game, so I don't have to talk quite as much, or definitely not really do voices or anything. Um, but the reading games are rough. There's too many reading games. But yeah. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for keeping me company and all that. Hopefully having a good couple of days, and I'll hopefully see everyone on Saturday. So, goodbye.